Are we ready?
Always. What's up, everyone?
On Motorcycle Madhouse.
Hollywood from Glow Wrestling 19.
And all major podcasting
Hot.
platforms.
She was.
You're listening to only the best internet radio station in the world.
Is there any debate? No.
The universe.
I agree.
You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch!
Somebody is feisty.
Sarcasm
today.
is anger's ugly cousin. From now on, unacceptable.
Gentlemen, the king.
Hail to the king, baby.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Insane Throttle's morning show. How you guys doing out there? It is a beautiful week so far here in Northern Illinois. Yeah, it's not always like that, though, man, so we'll take them where we can. Today, we got a lot of stories for you. We got Gypsy Jokers out west. I believe he was an ex-member. We'll take a look at that story. We will also take a look at the Wall of Shame as well as others in the news. Don't forget to pound rock on, as always, in the description box. Now, before we go on, I was asked in an email, and it was pretty interesting, to say the least. I guess there was something made on the internet about racism in motorcycle clubs. And it's, you know, I didn't get to see it or where the hell ever they put it. But, you know, the gist of it was how wrong it is. You know, this section of the community is not allowed in. Let's just put it the way it is. You know, blacks ain't allowed in whites. Whites ain't allowed in blacks. You know, the whole race thing here. What's interesting about this is I actually did a video on this. You know, personally, you know, I heard that they were, you know, kind of complaining that, you know, things haven't changed or old bylaws. The problem is it all comes down to tradition. And no matter which way you fall on the issue, it's just the way it is. I don't think it's going to be changing in the near future. A lot of guys are proud of their bylaws. They really don't care what others think. That's why they are who they are. You know what I mean? So, you know, I guess I can give a freaking long-winded type of deal. But all I got to say, it's tradition, man. There's nothing else to say about it. You know, that's just like when you go into the prison system, man. You're all it's a tribal mentality type of deal, man. You go with your own. That's the way it's always been. And, you know, since the 1940s, 50s, whenever all the major older clubs got together, that's the way the stuff was. Do I think the younger generation's going to change it? Probably not. Because they're being raised in the lifestyle, you know, with the older guys who still think that way. You know, you keep to your side, we'll keep to ours. That's the type of ideology a lot of guys have. And you can't fault them for that either. You know, I've actually been called racist a bunch of times because, you know, I got my white boy cap on. Sometimes during the show, and it's like, you really think I'm gonna apologize? No, I'm proud of who I am, man. You know, I don't apologize to no leftists. I don't apologize to any crybabies about it. I'm a proud white boy. So, you know, that's just the way I feel about things. Do I hold other races like, you know, hey, you know what, don't come? No, I ain't like that, man. Everybody knows that. I like everybody. You know, I believe we all believe the same, but at the same time, there are traditions within the club scene that are probably never going to change. So get used to it. So whoever emailed me that, there you go. There's my answer. So let's get into the news today and stop hearing me freaking go on and on and on and on. I'm even getting bored of myself. No, just kidding. Okay, here we go. From the Reflector, the newspaper with an integrity since 1909. Huge statement from a mainstream media. This one has to do, and we covered this story a lot, and I guess most of the pleadings are almost done now. Former outlaw biker from BG pleads guilty to racketeering, and that was Joseph Dwayne Folkerts, accused in a gang-related death by Rick Banyan. He was from Battleground, the guy that just pleaded guilty to conspiring and racketeering that prosecutors allege led to the death of another former member in 2015. Another newspaper first reported that Joseph, in the newspaper was out of Oregon, Joseph Dwayne Folkert, 62, had entered a guilty plea to charges May 12th. He was one of 5, and I think the rest of them already pleaded or got sentenced. One of the 5 named suspects are indicted by a grand jury in federal court in Oregon in 2019 in connection to the death of Robert Huggins, then 56. He was discovered in a field near Ridge Field in 2015. You guys on the West Coast know where that is, because I don't. According to the 2019 indictment, Huggins was a disgraced former member of the Outlaw Motorcycle Club, which, it is not the Outlaws that they're talking about. They're talking about the Gypsy Jokers in here. They didn't put that there. They just said that. Who was tortured and beaten to death in Woodland before having his body dumped in Clark County. The prior year, and this is what led up to everything, was Huggins told a member of the club that he owed the club 5 G's and was badly beaten by club associates. Now, that kind of, confuses me there. Was it the associates or these are members? They kind of messed that one up. According to the indictment in June 2015, Huggins allegedly robbed the resident of the girlfriend of the Gypsy Jokers Portland chapter, the president that he robbed. One other of the suspects, along Folkert, and he was located in Portland by an unnamed club associates later that month. Huggins was kidnapped by some of the suspects and transported to Woodland, where Folkert became involved after meeting up with the others at a gas station off of Interstate 5. According to the indictment, he allegedly participated in the torture and death of Huggins. The plea agreement had him acknowledge that the Gypsy Jokers were an outlaw motorcycle club involved in illegal activities between 2008 and 2018. So basically, what he did to cop that plea was he agreed to let the government label the Gypsy Jokers an outlaw motorcycle gang that's involved in all kinds of, illegal activities when, really it's just, there was 5. Here we go again with, the government pulling whatever they can so they could have put a label on the entire motorcycle club, kind of like what they did with the Mongols, where they convicted everybody and not everybody's a felon. It's just a game that Leo plays, man. It really is. So let's go over to New York. The Brooklyn bodega clerk shoots knife-wielding robber dead. Cops. By Tina Moore and Craig McCarthy, New York Post. This one's it's going to make you shake your head, man. This would-be thief messed with the wrong bodega. A Brooklyn convenience store clerk fatally shot a knife-wielding robber in East New York, cops said. Now, you know what? You're trying to rob somebody, you're getting shot, no matter. It is what it is. That's what our Second Amendment's there for, is to protect yourself. The box robbery unfolded just after 11 Monday when 25-year-old Edwin Calderio walked into the Rose Family grocery store on Glenmore Avenue and pulled a knife, according to the cops. The 34-year-old clerk answered by whipping out a gun and opening fire, striking him in the head and torso. Yeah, he got a good shot then. EMS rushed the robber to Brookdale Hospital, but he could not be saved. Yeah, he got shot in the head. Cops took the clerk into custody and recovered the gun and the knife. Why would you take him into custody? Let me guess. It's New York. Well, you got to prove to us you need a gun permit when the, Second Amendment says so. But we got so many damn liberal judges in this country. They don't care about the Constitution, so they let the government do whatever the hell they want. Take him into custody. Come on, man. No charges had been filed as of Tuesday afternoon. Let's hope that case, stays, like that. But to take him into custody, come on. As the NYPD was searching for more surveillance footage, a police source described the incident as a robbery, with a witness telling police that he had attacked the clerk with the knife. Daryl's dad told cops that his son believed that he left his house keys in the bodega and returned to retrieve them, according to police sources. The dad tagged along with his son because he was drunk, but stayed in the car at his son's request. Well, what's that telling you right there? Come on. After hearing a gunshot, the dad ran in to find him laying on the ground, and no parent should see their kid laying on the ground, but come on. If the surveillance video says, hey, you were robbing somebody, you get what you get. Laying on the ground as the clerk stirred with the firearm. The clerk, whose name was not released, has nearly 20 arrests for various motor vehicle charges, such as DWI and unlicensed operator, as well as a marijuana bust. Okay, so now you're gonna bring that in when he's trying to, come on, man, who cares? He was protecting himself. The robber was a member of the Forbidden Ones motorcycle club and has been collared 6 times, 2 of which were for assaulting a police officer, sources said. 2 years ago, a trio of armed robbers held up the bodega and made off with $500. The store could not be reached for comment. So this has happened to them, and I'm, probably more than once. So yeah, they deserve to have a gun there. What can I say? This one, what I think is a total Leo setup. This one is. Now, undercover officer in hit case was in Waco Attorneys Motorcycle Club. Yes, this is an attorney that represented some of the guys out of Waco, and this is by Tommy Witherspoon. So you really take what he's saying. He does a lot of his investigations. Awesome. The Waco police undercover officer. Yeah, Waco. Yeah, we're going to put a lot of freaking belief behind you guys. Arrested Waco attorneys Seth Sutton and Chelsea Tingeneria in an alleged murder for hire scheme, who had been assigned to infiltrate a motorcycle club for which Sutton serves as a founding president. Now think about this. He was in a motorcycle club. He was also an attorney that represented all the guys that beat these guys down, these cops. Now, why would they even want to throw in an undercover officer into his motorcycle club? Think about that for a minute. Really think about that. This is a setup. Big time. And I bet you the guy's lying. They both walked out of the McClellan County Jail Tuesday afternoon after posting a $1 million bond. Hey, $1 million. It's like, is that the bond down there, man? Because everybody in Waco, Twin Peaks, it was $1 million to get out. They have this fetish with $1 million. I'm telling you. After their arrests on charges, they conspired to hire the undercover officer to kill her ex-husband, Waco attorney Marcus Boudin. Both Sutton, who was released about 4:45 p.m., and she was released about 3:30, declined comment as they left the jail parking lot. She got into a car driven by a woman, while Sutton was driven away from the jail by Joey Ash of Ash Bail Bonds, who posted both bonds. Both left the jail wearing ankle monitors, which were ordered as a condition of their bonds. They were also ordered to abide by a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, prohibited from contacting her husband or potential witnesses in the case, and prohibited from possessing a gun, knife, or other weapon. While the undercover officer is named in arrest records in the case, the Tribune Herald does not identify officers working undercover unless they are called to testify in court. Well, I got to get a hold of them officer records because I'll put them out. Arrest documents don't mention the biker club affiliation, but the officer started riding with Sutton's motorcycle club, the Red Mouse Cult MC, and became a prospective member. Law enforcement said the officer was assigned to investigate gang-related activities. Really, the guy defended everybody in Waco. Well, a lot of guys, this is just retribution, man. It's my opinion anyway. We'll see as the case goes on. A number of defense attorneys in town who know the officer and saw him in posts from the Red Mouse Cult MC Facebook page had been wondering why he was riding with the group. Law enforcement sources said Sutton did not know he was an officer when he reportedly gave him $300 to buy a gun to kill this guy who was arrested in February on child indecency charges. So this guy was arrested on child indecency charges. The pair were arrested on first-degree felony charges of solicitation of capital murder after the Texas Rangers investigation of the alleged scheme. Well, you guys are all working together there. There's a picture of her. You guys make up your mind, but personally, it's too coincidental for me. Okay, let's go to the Wall of Shame. We got a new inductee coming on. Retired cop arrested for allegedly abusing councilwoman by John Burnett of the WestHawaiiToday.com. A retired Hawaii Police Department detective pleaded not guilty Tuesday to a misdemeanor domestic abuse charge for an alleged Memorial Day attack on his wife, a member of the city council. Ian Leloy, you are now part of the Wall of Shame. 56 of Hilo requested a jury trial for the abuse charge in which the alleged victim is Sue Leloy, a two-term councilwoman seeking a third term in office. I think she's going to get it now. She's going to use this to her advantage, I guarantee you. According to the complaint filed by prosecutors, Ian Leloy did intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly physically abuse Susan Leloy, a family or household member. Police spokesman Alan Richmond said in an email, Ian Leloy allegedly threw an object and caused bleeding on the hip and left arm of his 50-year-old wife. Richmond said the alleged domestic altercation took place in the couple's home. According to the police booking log, Ian Leloy was arrested at 5:49 p.m. Monday and released from police custody less than an hour later. He only had to post a $1,000 bond. Hilo Family Court Judge Jeffrey Hawk ordered Leloy to appear at 8 a.m. June 8th for further proceedings before Hilo Circuit Judge Peter Kabuta. Deputy prosecutor, oh my God, I ain't gonna even try it, said in court Tuesday Sue Leloy had requested her husband not return home until Friday. Hawk granted the request, ordering Ian Leloy to stay away from the home until 9 a.m. Friday. Don Wilkerson, Leloy's attorney, objected to the Tribune Herald's request to photograph and audio record in the courtroom, which is not unusual for a defense lawyer to do. So, Ian Lee Joy, former retired cop, arrested for abusing a councilman. Or a councilwoman, his wife. Who knows? He could have done a councilman. Okay, before my final thoughts, don't forget to go over to HarleyLiberty.com for your daily biker news. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and of course, subscribe to YouTube. You can also find us on all major podcasting platforms. So, my final thoughts. Here's my final thoughts on everything. That case in Waco involving that attorney is the biggest setup that I've ever seen. Got me agitated right now. Do they? Now, why in the world would you send an undercover cop into a lawyer's club? Why? Because the lawyers help defend people in the Waco Twin Peaks. And now you're mad. So, you figure you come up with this con, put these guys under the freaking microscope, destroy their credibility because you're butthurt. That's what Waco does. You guys are by far worse than some of the cops here in Chicago, man. You guys are crooked. Crooked. Give me a break here. Anybody can see what this one was. And that's, you know what, I'm not trying to be biased, but that's just, the circumstances point to. As far as the first one with the Gypsy Jokers, We covered that story, man, a long time. Again, there was only 5 people involved in that. It wasn't the whole damn club. So, with them trying to get, or actually they did get the guy to say they were involved in crimes and all that stuff as part of the plea deal. That is just so they can use it in the future for RICO. Now they have somebody who was a former member say, hey, this is an outlaw biker gang involved in this kind of blah, blah, blah. He did it to lighten his freaking sentence. And yeah, that's one thing that you don't freaking do. You really don't. As far as that other story with the robbery and stuff like that, hey, if you're going to pull a gun on, or you're going to pull a knife or something like that on somebody, be prepared to get what you're going to get. That's all I have to say on that. And of course, our wall of shame, I want to again thank our guy who's been running around and getting those links for us. And again, I'll get your name right. I'll get it out there for you because you deserve a lot of credit for doing that for us. Because it takes a lot of time to find that kind of stuff. So with that, you guys have been great, man. Don't forget Motorcycle Madhouse Live. Yes, Motorcycle Madhouse Live, where we have all kinds of fun. You can listen to us over on Spotify, iTunes, all the good stuff. Don't forget the Pound Rock On. Go over and get you a support shirt, man. Help us out. With that, I'll talk to you guys later.
I said goodbye, vamoose, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
#1 internet biker radio show is now available on Spotify and all major platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Don't forget to become a subscriber on any one of these platforms so you can be notified right away when our weekly episode is uploaded so you never miss an episode.
Hi, this is James Hollywood Machikari. Join our YouTube channel and get Motorcycle Madhouse and tons of videos related to the bikers. Join now by subscribing for free and become part of the Throttle today. Always free and always entertaining. Don't forget to visit us at www.harleyliberty.com for your daily biker news. Rock on!